Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, says the activities of Finland-based agitator Ekpa are hampering security efforts in the southeast. He spoke alongside other service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, at the kickoff of sectoral debates in the House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
Security is one of the 8 focal points of the recently unveiled legislative agenda by the Speaker, 10th House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin. Service chiefs led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, with the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, arrived the chamber to brief legislators on their activities. The Speaker says the sectoral debate becomes necessary to enhance the nation's security.
Over the last few years, we have made significant progress in tackling insecurity through improved investment by the federal government and the gallantry.
The security chiefs take turn to intimate lawmakers of their activities while they seek parliament support in all ways possible. They say insurgency is on the decline in the aftermath of counter-forces action, just as no Nigerian territories under the control of terrorists. Nigeria, they say, is now a pirate-free country, but insist budgetary allocations cannot fund security operations. The activities of his self-acclaimed agitator, Ekpa, are also a stumbling block to security efforts in the southeast region.
Ekpa has become a menace to this country. Finland is having a free way, encouraging him to do what he's doing. By his utterances and his actions, is affecting what is happening in Nigeria. Our strategy as an army is the deployment of forces in each of the 6 geopolitical zones to conduct operations to combat the security threats.
There is no navy that can function without adequate resources. We are doing our best within the available resources, but we continue to seek your intervention and your support.
Estimative intelligence demanded greater unity of ongoing kinetic efforts towards containing the activities of the separatist groups.
The manpower in the police today is grossly inadequate. Even the criminals know that.
Inadequate funding, lack of requisite training, shortage of manpower, logistics and accommodation are some of the challenges they identified. The security chiefs want education and sensitization programs for the people as they advocate public support in the fight against insecurity. They want citizens to see security as everyone's business and not the exclusive preserve of security agents. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
I'm being joined on the news at 7 by Senator Tahir Monguno, representing Borno Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly. Senator, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. We've seen that the National Assembly has been concerned about security in recent time. Where are we on the Senate intervention?
Well, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the grand norm of the land, has clearly, in an unambiguous terms, stated that the purpose for which government is established is for the welfare and security of the people. That is the primacy of governance. Any government that fails or neglects to perform that primary duty of securing the life and property of the people, that government is not supposed to last a minute longer than absolutely necessary, because that is the primacy of government. And then the Senate and indeed the National Assembly, as representative of the people, we are responsible and responsive to the yearnings and aspirations of the people, especially with regard to the issue of insecurity. Sequel to that, the Senate has passed various resolutions with regard to the issue of insecurity, and then calling upon the relevant security agencies to take proactive measures with a view to nipping in the bud the resurgence of the issue of insecurity, hydra-headed problem of insecurity that is spread across the nooks and crannies of the country. And to that effect, in our last sitting on Thursday, we have even resolved to invite the service chiefs to come and brief us on the state of insecurity that is now prevalent in the country. But I must say, as somebody that is coming from Borno, and particularly Borno North Senatorial District, the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency, the Nigerian military deserves a pat on the back for the sacrifice, the determination, and enthusiasm that they have displayed in the fight against Boko Haram insurgency, to the extent that the Boko Haram is now decapacitated.
I hear you, Senator. I hear you, Senator, yes. If you can hear me. And I was actually going to talk about Borno, yes, because you are from that state. And in recent time, Borno has been in the news for the right reasons. So would you say that Borno is safe? I mean, is it safe to say that Borno is safe? Or is there underreporting of possible insecurity in the northeast state?
Well, that is why I'm going to. Before, even in the wildest of my dreams, I cannot think of going to my constituency, and particularly to my home local government of Monguno. But today, I can go and sleep in with my two eyes closed. Definitely, the fight against insurgency is not something that is going to be completely wiped out in one day. But if you compare to our situation before, there is tremendous improvement in the state of insecurity in Borno, because most of the IDPs have, as a result of the determination and the resilience displayed by our governor, most of the IDPs have now returned back to their respective communities and picking the pieces of their lives. As I'm speaking to you right now, the governor is in Monguno, my hometown, with all his convoy distributing palliatives to people of Monguno. Before that, he went to Baga, even entered the Lake Chad, and then surveyed the place, and then came to Monguno. As I'm speaking to you right now, the governor is spending the night in Monguno. So compared to before, there is tremendous improvement in the state of insecurity in the country, but definitely it's something that is not going to be wiped out completely in one day. This is very, very relevant compared to the history of insurgency and what obtains in other climes like Afghanistan.
Right,
they have been fighting.
Yes. I get what you're saying. Let's talk about the strategy now that we have been adopting that have been paying off. We know about the multinational joint task force. But we know that at the moment it's not as effective as it used to be, because you have a country like Chad, for instance, no longer involved in the force. So what do you think? Should the MNJTF be re-strengthened, or should we just wait till there is maybe resurgence before it is in force again?
I think I will call upon Mr. President to leverage on his capacity as chairman of the ECOWAS to further strengthen the multinational joint task force, because their work is very, very important and vital to the defeat of Boko Haram insurgency, especially along the shores of Lake Chad, and then countries like Cameroon, Niger, and Chad that are bordering us, because you will see there is cross-border raids and what have you. So the strengthening of multinational joint task force will go a long way in accelerating the defeat of Boko Haram insurgency, even also trying to resolve the diplomatic impasse that we have with Niger now, so that Niger will also be very, very active in the fight against Boko Haram insurgency, because before we are closely collaborating with them until of recent, as a result of the military incursion into their body politic that necessitated Nigeria to sever all diplomatic relationship with Niger. And this has really adversely affected the fight against insurgency, particularly Boko Haram insurgency in my own part of the country. There is a need for them to come on board.
All right, so there's need to strengthen, like you have said. I must sincerely appreciate you, Senator, for talking to us. Senator Tahir Monguno represents Borno Central in the Nigerian Senate. Thank you for your time.
Borno North, not Borno Central, Borno North Senatorial District.
Great. Thank you so much for talking to us, Senator.